Finally, the legendary Yezdi motorcycles are back to our Indian shores after a long wait, after being acquired by Mahindra. The Roadster and the Scrambler. Should you get this to sum it all up? Definitely, these are great motorcycles. But if you want to know more about it, watch the full video. As always, we are going to be extensive about it, so stay tuned and subscribe to get Set Anarchy. Let's get started. Let's start with a little brief history about Java and Yezdi. Why Java? Well, essentially, Yezdi was before known as Java. In 1928, the brand was coined by František Janáček. Essentially, this bike was named after the first 500 OHC bike. This Java, J-A-W-A, was named after Java Wanderer, that is Janáček Wanderer. The first two letters of both of them combined together called as Java. In 1926, this was the best running motorcycle that they could find. Later in 1948, it combined with CZ Motors. Java came to India along with Ideal Java. This was one of the biggest hits of entire Indian scenario because youth literally fought for it with their parents at those times. This was the only competitor for the RE counterparts which was there, and they had a tagline called Live Forever, Live Youth, Live Ride, Live Freedom. The one which came to India was the 250 Type A, and it was single cylinder with dual exhaust, and that look, the stance of it was something that appealed to every single person over there. Gradually, during the 1970s, the brand started dying down a little bit more. After years and years, Mahindra finally acquired it in 2016, and we have the brand new Yezdi Scrambler and the Roadster available for you all. In 1968, the technical collaboration between Java and Ideal Java ended, and thus the company was later named as Yezdi, with one of the first iterations called as the Oil King and the Road King, which became so popular. Getting a bit technical, both of these are 314cc single cylinder engines, liquid cooled, 320mm brakes at the front and 240 section at the rear. Suspensions are telescopic and have decent travel, good enough for our roads. The suspension is a little tad stiff, but overall it feels great. The engine is also very grunty. It has got 29 PS of power and about 28 Newton meters of torque. Basically, the Scrambler is more suited for riding on our roads because it has a little more low end grunt, but the Roadster feels more capable on highway tours and long stretches. Both actually are great motorcycles to ride. Aesthetically, the Scrambler definitely looks a little bit more pleasing to the camera. Well, basically both of these have 12.5 liters of fuel capacity, and you will have to refuel it quite often, given that the mileage is about 42 kmpl as denoted by Arrive, but we expect somewhere around 30 to 35 kmpl, which still should be good enough for most city and long highway tours, giving you approximate about 350 to 400 kilometers of range on one full tank. Both the Roadster and the Scrambler have 800mm of seat height and are actually really useful for most of our average Indian heights. You don't feel too cramped sitting on both of them, and the stance is really good as well. The rider triangle is really focused, and at the same time you don't feel that difficult riding it for long stretches throughout the day. Something that I would note is the build quality of these motorcycles. The paint finish is really good considering a bike under this budget, and also the build quality is actually great. Technical bits aside, these both are really great motorcycles. But do they live up to the expectations and the hype? Let's ride it and find out. Take in terms of perspective as a design and things like that, the Scrambler is my choice personally. If in terms of looks, the design is absolutely great with the short exhausts out here.
So guys, this is the Yezdi Scrambler, and actually feels great off-road. Though this doesn't have enough travel out here for us to enjoy, but still we can have a little bit of fun wherever we can.
Coming to the Roadster, especially in this beautiful stealthy shade, this feels exactly like a Harley Davidson. I mean, trust me, this looks great, has a crazy awesome stance. At the same time, the finishing is absolutely beautiful. This is one bike that you actually feel like looking twice to see which bike this actually is. So yes, we had the Yezdi Roadster and also the Scrambler. These two are a segment of its own. But then again, Yezdi has done magnanimous amount of efforts in making something that's very appealing for the youngsters out there. It's been a couple of years since the ADV crowd is growing in India, and with that, the Scrambler crowd is absolutely picking up its momentum as well. According to me, personally, a Scrambler definitely means something which does not have anything on it. It's a totally stripped down version of a naked super sport. The best example for me would be the Ducati Scrambler, which is exactly what you think of in your mind when the word Scrambler comes into picture. But then Yezdi Scrambler right now is one hell of a bike. Looks crazy, the stance is absolutely beautiful. It exactly feels like how a Scrambler should be, so no two words about that. The design is something which absolutely stands out. As I've always keep telling that Yezdi absolutely nails it with the paint job. The seating is great as well. 800 mm as seat height and about 200 mm of ground clearance. Beats all potholes and things like that. Absolutely feels great to ride on our road. As a final thing, is it worth actually paying 2.6 lakhs on road? But would I personally buy this? Very frankly speaking, no. But should you buy this? Should you even consider? Should you hesitate buying this? Absolutely no, go for it. It's a great bike to enjoy riding on your daily rides, on short off-road stretches or short berths. It's great to have a little bit of fun. It's great for a beginner to enjoy riding on spirited rides and also to enjoy the off-road fun that this thing gives. Ducati Diavel. The time you think about it, only one thing comes into picture. A tuned down monster meant to tear down the tarmac. A pure roadster in its devilish form. Well, that is what a roadster typically means like. You want something that can tear down the tarmac without actually, taking your guts down. Which is something which you can, ride every day at the same time not feeling that you have enough power with you. Well, this out here on the other hand is something which is more slightly in terms with the Harley Davidson. It's a great cruiser nonetheless. It has great amount of torque. It rides impeccably well. Actually, I was surprised by the way how smooth it was. The gearing is very good. The shifts are a little slow, but at the same time, the suspension and every single thing on this feels absolutely great. Though this doesn't come with all the bells and whistles of what the Scrambler has in terms of the suspension setup and also the different riding modes that come on this. The thing that we absolutely loved about the Roadster is its stealthiness. Personally, it's a like or hate design that it has, but absolutely kills in terms of presence. It's one beautiful bike that you would definitely want to have if you're in under a budget of 3 lakh rupees, and at the same time you want something that definitely won't take a toll on your back because this thing can haul ass. It's a very beautiful bike indeed from Yezdi. That's about the legacy of the Java and Yezdi put together in one video. The Scrambler was an amazing bike, so was the Roadster. Well, I happily thank every single person who helped us get this bike, especially Sri Jain Mobiles from Mysore. An excellent showroom. The guys were super friendly with all of us. Thank you so much for letting us review this beautiful bike. End of the day, if you guys like this video, don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe with as many friends as you can. Until next time, get set.